Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I hope you can hear me clearly. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I hope you can hear me clearly and that you can see my screen.
Walaikum salam. Yes, we can.
Okay, jazakumullah, ICL. Thank you. Okay, so now we are in week 7. So welcome to today's class. And I hope you are well and you're ready to learn and you're happy to learn and that you've joined us with your pen and pencil and your head is covered and you're in wudu. Please start jotting down the notes on the screen, okay? And in a moment, I will ask somebody to join me. And I will ask someone to read out the wonderful quote that we have, this lovely quote you can see on the screen. So let me see who's raised their hand. Okay, Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah. Nabi? Is that how you spell your name?
It's Nabi.
Nabi, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
It's a lovely name, mashallah. Yes, I'm good, alhamdulillah. Would you be able to read this quote for me?
From where?
Can you see my cursor?
Okay. There is only one antidote to spiritual licenses.
Okay, so beta, this is antidote.
Antidote
to spiritual illness.
Antidote to spiritual illness, and that is Holy Quran.
Okay, so antidote means you know, like when you take medicine.
Yeah.
But antidote is something you take before. You know, like sometimes we take some, like the people took the coronavirus jab, you know, they took a vaccine, they took a medicine, and so this is saying this is, you know, before the illness, you know, this prevention is needed. So the antidote is prevention, okay, to an illness, and that could be spiritual illness. And so it's very good to read the Holy Quran. Could you read the next bit?
Okay. The sign of Al-Waqf al-Mu'anaka.
Yeah, Al-Waqful Mu'anika.
Al-Waqful Mu'anika.
Well done.
Is the embarrassing pronounce?
Okay, okay, beta.
Pause.
The sign of, yeah, this is the sign of Al-Waqful Mu'anika, is the embracing pause. Embracing, okay?
Okay.
All right, I'll call you back again sometime. Jazakumullah for joining me. It was lovely hearing your voice. Assalamu alaikum. Okay, so I wonder, Assalamu alaikum, Tamsila. Assalamu alaikum. Tamsila, beta, can you unmute?
Assalamu alaikum. This is not Tamsila. This is
well,
Mehreen.
Okay, so it says Tamsila here. So what did you say your name was?
Mehreen.
Okay, Mehreen, how are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
Okay, I'm good, alhamdulillah. Can you read this quickly for me?
The sign of Al-Waqful Mu'anika is the embracing pause. This is represented by a pair of identical signs which are written as 3 dots. You must do waqf pause at one place only, first or second, not both.
Okay, so here we can see the 3 mountains. There are 3 mounted signs. Look, there's two mounted signs, 1, 2, right? But they've got 3 dots, and we're only allowed to stop at one of the dots. So Al-Waqful Mu'anika is what the name is, and here we can see in the example. So we can say Dhalikal Kitabu La Rayb, and we can stop here safely, or we can read up to here. Like that. So would you read that for us?
Zalikal kitabu la rayba fi.
Yeah, okay. So you stop at one of them. You can't stop at both. So if you said You could either stop here or here. Yeah, just Dan. Okay, Jazakumullah. Thank you for joining us, and it was lovely hearing your voice. And we'll call you again sometime. So now it's coming up to 6 o'clock, and I just want to remind you that you must join classes on time. You must start and preparing for your classes at 5:40. So eat your meal, have your kana, your meal before 5:40, and do your wuzu at 5:40. At 5:45, you should be sat at your desk with a pen and paper. Or actually, you should have a nice little book, a writing pad or something for you to jot down some notes. You should make notes of these, what you can see on the screen, and you should make notes in class and listen attentively. There is no eating or drinking, and as I said, you should be in wuzu with your head covered when you join classes. And there's no eating and drinking during classes, and you can have a sip of water. Please make sure now that you are displaying the correct ID and room number, so we can allocate you to the correct classes. Please ensure that when you come to classes that you listen attentively. You do not leave the computer on and go away. Actually, you should be using a computer, an iPad, or a laptop, and not your phones, because the screen that's displayed in front of you is made, these slides are made for laptops and computers or iPads. And you should make sure that you are listening to your teacher and listening to your fellow students and reading out loud. And we mustn't walk away. We mustn't leave the computer. You can have a sip of water if you like, but there's no eating and drinking. So now I'm going to pass it over to my MCL, my main course leader. So Assalamu alaikum from me.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Jazakumullah, Mr. Shakil, for that. I'm just going to share my screen now. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yes, excellent. Jazakumullah. Okay, Assalamu alaikum. Mrs. Imran, are you there?
Yep, I'm here. Walaikum salam.
Islam. Now, what I want you to do is I would like you to recite and then just leave a gap. We won't have somebody reciting after you. We'll just leave a gap so that we can all, everybody at home, can recite out loud, even though we will be muted, and we can repeat what you're reciting. You may begin.
Okay. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل أعوذ برب الفلق من شر ما خلق ومن شر غاسق إذا وقب ومن شر النفاثات في العقد ومن شر حاسد إذا حسد
Jazakumullah, and we will hear your voice back again to do the dua. Jazakumullah. And you heard there, very nice and clear, all of these ghunnas that were done because of the rule of ikhfa. We learned this. Ikhfa, concealment. We don't say min sharri, we say min sharri. And you heard how it helped with the tune of the reciter. There's also a ghunna here on the nun mushaddad, but the blue ones are ikhfa. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to keep reminding you of these rules because they're still pretty fresh, and there's lots of rules to get through. Actually, what I might do, I don't have it on here right now, perhaps I'll show you tomorrow all the rules that we've done so far, And now we are going to pause for thought, and we're going to give a thought to pause. Pause, which is the word waqf. Waqf. When you hear the word waqf, it means pausing or stopping. And we have punctuation signs to guide us. Do you remember the signs of waqf that we've been learning? For example, like waqful lazim, the meme that comes on the stop signs or within a verse, not that baby meme that did laugh. I don't want to confuse you. I should have chosen another one. But waqful lazim is the one where it's a compulsory stop. You have to pause. However, the word wasl, perhaps it's not so clear here. Wasl is the opposite, okay? And we use the word wasl when we talk about what's happening, when we're not going to pause, when we combine words together, when we continue, okay? So when the end of one word is combined with the beginning of another word, and we continue on, we call this wasl. Wasl is the opposite of waqf. So in wasl, the word is, there's no change to the word ending. The word will be read as it is written, okay? However, in waqf, the end may change. The end may change, okay? And that's what we're going to do this week. We're going to talk about waqf. Now, you've already had some waqf rules. So some of this is revision. So you've already done some waqf rules, and I want somebody to volunteer and tell me. Now, this would be wasl. Can you see this word here? It says wasl, wasl, right? And there's the word that says waqf, waqf. What I'll do, I'll put wasl in green, right? Because green is go, it means continue on, okay? Let's put that in green, wasl. Can you see that word wasl? Waw, swad, lam, wasl. Okay, continuation. So if you were to continue, you would just say dhalika, right? There is a fatha on the kaf, right? The last letter. However, in waqf, if we pause, let's say that there was a stop sign there. There wouldn't be for this particular word, but let's imagine that there's a stop sign there, and there's a stop sign there, waqf al-tham, and there's a stop sign there, let's say, okay? How would we read them? So I'd like a volunteer to help me. This is all revision from level 1. Let's see if we can unmute somebody and they can tell us. Oh, I've done a search on here. Here we go. Assalamu alaikum, who's that? Hamda. Hamda, do you want to help me to tell me if I said if dhalika, I have had to stop on there, right? So how would I say it if I had to stop?
Zalik.
Dhalik, shabash, excellent. So what you've done there, let me see if you got that correct. You have dhalik, we just put sukoon on the kaf, right? How about this one? Yawmi. How would I do that if I stopped? How would that be?
Yawm.
Excellent, mashallah. Again, the last letter becomes sakin. How about this one? Na'budu.
Na'bud.
Shabash, na'bud, shabash. Excellent. So that becomes sakin again. Very good. Jazakumullah. Thank you for your help. That was excellent. Now, let's go on to somebody else. I'm going to ask you to unmute. I'm sending a message. If you can unmute, that would be great. You can do it immediately. That would be even better. I'm sending a message. No? Yes or no? Assalamu alaikum? No? Okay. Let's find somebody else to unmute.
Assalamu alaikum.
Hi, Islam Haris. Do you want to help me do some stop signs?
Yes, please.
The waqf. We're going to do waqf. Now remember, this one here, this is wasl. Do you remember what wasl means? Wasl means continuation, or wasl, right? It's a sword, so it's not very good sword. Wasl, okay? Wasl, continuation. Now in wasl, sorry, it's very bad handwriting. Wasl, right? That's a sword. Okay. So in wasl, this would be makhtumin, and what would it be in waqf? What would it be in waqf, beta? What would makhtumin turn into?
Makhtum.
Makhtum, shabash, excellent. So it becomes sakin. How about this one? Qur'anun.
Qur'an.
Shabash. Actually, Qur'an, you're absolutely right. And actually, they'll put a chuti mad there. They'll even extend the a sound, but that's another rule for another day. Rusulihi. What would that be?
Rasuli.
Shabash. Again, you see sakin, they all turn into sukoon. How about this one? Yarahu.
Yarah.
Yarah. Excellent. Jazakumullah. Thank you for your help as well. So that just shows you, right? All of you should know that a lot of these signs are going to turn mutaharrik, tanween of dhamma, tanween of kasra. Okay. For example, fatha kasra dhamma, they're going to turn into sukoon. Okay, you learned this from level 1. So most of the time, they're going to turn into sukoon. The last letter will turn into sukoon. However, this is an exception to the rule now. Okay, this is an exception. And here we have this ta al-marbuta. Okay, this is a special ta. It's not the open ta. It's the rounded or closed ta. Okay, now here, you're going to learn some rules later on about certain signs. Here, it doesn't matter which sign you get. I'm just wondering if anybody knows what the rule is. Maybe they could tell me, perhaps. Let me unmute somebody. If somebody thinks they know the rule, keep your hand up and you could possibly tell me if you know it. I'm going to ask you to unmute. Would you like to? Islam Mehreen Mehreen. If I've got this, there's this word here, right? It says al-ghashiyati, right? But we're going to stop here. Well, we have to stop, but it's better to stop here because it's got this bar. So instead of saying al-ghashiyati, what would that turn into?
It will turn into a ha sakin.
Excellent. And do you know how you would say that?
It would be al-ghashiyah.
Al-ghashiyah. Excellent. So what's happening is it's not just the sign, it does follow the sakin rule. It does follow the sakin rule, but it changes. The ta sound disappears, it becomes a ha. Okay, excellent, Jazakallah. How about this one then? This one, ghashiyatun, it's actually the same word.
It's actually the exact same. It also turns into a ha sakin.
Excellent, and it will also be ghashiyah. Excellent. All right, Jazakumullah. Thank you for that. You seem to know your Talimul-Qur'an endings. Very good, Jazakumullah. Okay. Okay, so we can see here that a Talmud, the rounded closed ta, the one with the 2 dots, but it looks like a ha, will actually turn into a ha sakina when we stop on it. Okay, ha sakina. It doesn't matter what sign's on there. Okay, so that's this rule. Okay, so it looks a bit different. This is a rule. Now you can see number 8 there. Number 8. In Talimul-Qur'an. There are, and I think it's page 85, and there are about 22 examples. That's not 22 rules. That's only a handful of rules. They're just giving you 22 examples, okay? You've seen that many rules follow the rule of sakin to become sakin. The letters become sakin at the end. This one also becomes sakin, number 8, but the difference is it also changes. 2 dots are removed and it changes its sound. So the sign does become sakin, but instead the ta becomes a ha. You just remove the 2 dots, okay? So I'm going to say this in waqf, right? And I'll leave a gap for you to say in waqf and see if you say it correct, okay? So musfiratun becomes musfirah, musfirah. And what I want you to do is I want you to focus more on the right-hand side here so you can get used to it, because obviously in the Quran, you're not going to be given this example on the left side. This is just to show you how to read it. We're going to be given this word on the right hand side, and we have to know how it will change in waqf, how the ending will change. Okay, now here again there's something special here. So that was ta al-marbuta. So we've done that one, and that we said was it turns into a ha sakina. So we've done that one. Ta al-marbuta turns into a ha sakina. Now this one is a fatatain, okay? And this is tanween of fatah. Now we're only talking about the tanween of fatatain, not the other tanween signs, okay? This is the only one. Now what you've got to imagine here, what's going to happen? Abwaban is going to become this. Abwaba. Okay, count of 2. An becomes a, count of 2. Abawaban becomes abawaba, count of 2. And that will happen It won't happen with this one. This tal marbuta, any sign on there just turns into sukoon and it becomes a ha. But any other letter with a tanween of fatha will become alif mad, or you can say it becomes fatha with alif, or fatha ishbai, just an a sound, count of 2. Okay, a count of 2 it becomes. So let's carry on. All right, so look at these 2 rules. These are 2 new rules. Ta al-marbuta, this is this ta, will change into ha sakina. There's your ha sakina there. Okay. The next one is the tanween fatatain. There it is. Fatatain is there. Let me change the color on this. Fatatain. There's your fatatain. Okay. Tanween of fatha, right? It will become fatha with alif. Fatha with alif will become this. Okay. Have a look at that. Remember that. Only the fatha tanween. Okay. Have a look. Okay. So here we've got several different types of endings. Okay. So for example, I'm going to say this in waqf. In wasl, let's say if I was joining, it would be al-azim alladhi. Al-azimi would become, in waqf, if we were to stop there, it would become al-azim, mim sakin. Okay. Similarly, this one, this word here, let's try this word. I'll read it in wasl first, so, as if I was going to join. So saya'lamuna alam naj'al, like this. Okay, as if I was going to continue on, right? So first it would be saya'lamuna, and what would that turn into if I stopped there? Saya'lamun. Okay, now let's try something a bit different. This word here, mihadan. What would mihadan become? Mihada, right? Mihada. Do you remember we said that when you have that tanween fatha here, we're going to make it into a. Mihada. Okay, from mihadan. How about this one? How about okay, Sajjajan. Sajjajan. What would that turn into? Sajjaja. Okay. And finally, this one, Alfafan. Alfafan. What would that be? Al-fafa. You see that how it rhymes very nicely when you do waqf. Okay, so those were those endings. And this one, just to let you know, but when you have this count of 2, yes, you have a prolongation of 2 counts, you keep it the same. You keep it the same, okay? Yes, will remain as yes, we won't change it. We like, when there's an open vowel of 2, like this, we like to keep an open vowel of 2. Okay, you never have a vowel of one count. You won't have a fatha kasra dhamma there, or we won't make it sakin. We'll keep it at yes. Similarly here, yuhyi will remain the same. Yuhyi. Okay, and you'll come across these. We'll practice these again, but you can see here we've done 10, 11 examples, but many of them follow a similar rule. And this is a similar principle here. Look, you've got a count of 2, an open vowel of 2. Rafa'na, we're going to keep it at rafa'na. Same thing. You don't need to do anything to it. It's a nice ending of 2. We like open vowels of 2. A, E, U. We like that. Rafa'na, the same, no change. Okay, that's example number 12. And this one, example number 13, al-a'la, we never have a count of 1 as an ending. You either make it sakin or you stretch it to a count of 2. Now this one we're going to stretch it because it has this blank ya. Okay, so this fatha, because of this blank ya here, it's going to become vertical fatha, right? We're going to make it ishbaya right here. Can you see? So al-a'la, if we were to join, it would just be a short vowel. But in waqf, we say, if we stop, al-a'la, al-a'la. You've got to imagine that this blank ya, which is actually called an alif, it's extending it when you stop. Okay, al-a'la. Okay, if you were to stop. Now, we're carrying on. Look how many examples we've done. Now we're on number 14. Now this is the same principle. This is the same principle. This is also becoming sakin, but the unusual thing here is you've got a shadda. And a shadda is a kind of sukoon, isn't it? But what we're going to do is we're going to remove that dhamma and we're going to stop on there like with a sukoon, right? But we don't write it in. It's an invisible sukoon. So how can we make this noon mushaddad, this double letter, a noon mushaddad is a double letter, isn't it? We've got, when we waqf, when we stop on it, if we were to stop sign, we've got to make it, that's not very nice, is it? We've got to make it sound like it's a double letter. So yadhunnu, right? That's in waqf. Yadhunnu. How can I make it sound as if it's a double letter even in waqf? So you've got to make sure that you press on it and that tashdid, the shadda, this shadda has a hardening sound. You hang on to that. So if I just said yadhun, that would sound like a regular noon. It wouldn't sound like a noon mushaddad. Yadhun, that's a regular noon, right? But this is a double noon. It's a noon mushaddad. So you say yadhun, yadhun. Okay? Remember that. Tashdid must be manifested. Manifested means the tashdid, the hardening, must be clearly heard. You hear it. Here, this is similar to the fatatain, right? Remember, sometimes these fatatains, they have an alif, they're followed by an alif, a blank alif or a blank ya. Makes no difference. It's a fatatain, so it's going to turn into a vertical fatha. So, musamman will become musamma. Okay, it's the same rule as before. And you'll get plenty of practice. Don't worry if it looks like there's lots of rules at the moment. Ma'dudatin becomes ma'dudat. Now they've only put this here because they want you to see that this ta, which is an open ta, is not the same as ta al-madbuta, the other ta. It's just a regular letter. We treat it like a regular letter. So if that's got a regular sign like a kasratain, just make it sakin. That's the same rule as before. This one is also a sakin one. This one is also a sakin one, becomes sakin, all right? But it's just that you've got to know it might look different from other rules. That's all, okay? Now, very quickly, from the rules of waqf, I've got to very quickly introduce you to a sign of waqf, and we will carry on with this. And Mrs. Shakib was doing this. Is why you need to come in at 10 to 6, because Mrs. Shakib was covering this. This is called waqf al-mu'anaka, the embracing pause. Okay, it's 3 dots. 3 dots always come together. They come in pairs. A pair of 3 dots, and you can either stop at one and continue in the other, or and continue at the other, or continue at the first one, do wasl, and then do waqf at the next one. Okay, but you have to stop or start. You can't stop at both or continue on both. You've got to do the opposite. Okay, A'udhu billahi shaitanir rajim. So you could read, if you stop here, let's say we want to stop on the first one here, and we're going to then continue on. We might say dhalikal kitabu la raib, stop, fihi hudal lil muttaqin. So then I have to continue. I have to continue there. Okay. But I could also do the opposite. I could stop at the second one, and we'll get you to practice this with us later on in the week, okay? I could stop at the second one, which means I have to continue with the first one. So that would be ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ, pause, هُدًى لِلْمُتَّقِينَ, okay? And then continue there. So I continued here, did wasl here, and I did waqf there. All right, so we will continue, we will do that again. And this is the fill in the blanks, waqf al-mu'anaka. We've given you the example. We've told you what it looks like and what you have to do. You do waqf at one and wasl on the other. All right. We'll do that again during the week. Now you're going to go into your breakout rooms